The following is a guide for students who need to build a presentation using Microsoft PowerPoint. A few years ago, most high school and college students were evaluated primarily with tests and the writing of papers. However, many teachers and professors now require their students to create and deliver quality audio-visual presentations in addition to tests and papers. There is a problem when an educator gives this type of an assignment. With PowerPoint, a student can use a few simple keystrokes to bury his or her audience in a maze of several hundred words, graphics, and pictures. And without some form of discipline and guidance, this practice can result in an information overload for the audience and a failed presentation for the student. While there are currently several guides and textbooks written for students writing academic papers, there is very little written to give students a guide toward the building and delivering of high-quality academic presentations. Over the past decade, I've been able to take the best of what many professionals have crafted. I've applied their research, I've carefully listened to my students, and I'd like to share my experiences with you. I've found something in common among those students who create and deliver the very best presentations. Simply, the very best student presenters tell powerful stories by using only pictures and spoken words. And this experience led me to write a 70-page student guide. Many of my students who embraced the lessons in this guidebook became very crafty storytellers, and they continue to relate their presentation successes in college and beyond. The first step requires that you break away from the traditional role as an information presenter and become a cognitive guide by telling a story, because historically, stories are the most powerful way to communicate information. While many presenters continue to abuse the medium of PowerPoint by subjecting their audiences with slide after slide of boring on-screen text, this guidebook compels students to build slides by using about 16% of the slides area for a two-line headline and about 70% for a well-selected photograph or image. This slide building concept was first introduced to me by Cliff Atkinson, the author of the best-selling book Beyond Bullet Points. A presentation is not about your slides. It's about you and your message. This guidebook directs student presenters to use a well-designed floor layout and to employ a more disciplined approach for their delivery. Using the included story outline template, you'll fill in the fields with your ideas, and those ideas will later be transferred to a PowerPoint slide. Next, you'll build your master slide in the PowerPoint file. Now, a master slide begins with two rectangular sections. The upper section is reserved for the headline. The lower section is reserved for your picture. This is what your presenting slide will look like. It'll have a crisp headline and a relevant picture. This is an effective slide that supports your message. A good relevant picture and your spoken words will convey your message with far greater strength than on-screen text alone. What you will be saying is then written in the dialog box in the note page view. Now, after building the master slide, you'll build a few other slides that will lay the foundation for your storyboard. And after saving your master slide and storyboard as a PowerPoint file, you'll begin transferring your handwritten headlines into the PowerPoint slides. These headlines will become the building blocks of your presentation. After you've written your headlines and set up your storyboard, you'll then begin writing what you will be saying for each slide in the dialogue section. After you've written your dialogue, then you'll select your pictures. Although this approach may seem somewhat counterintuitive, your presentation is about your ideas, and your ideas are developed through your headlines and your stories. Pictures are not your ideas. Pictures only reflect and complement your ideas. This guidebook steers students toward the ideas that diagrams, charts, graphs, and tables should be simple and understandable. In fact, the simpler the better. Displays that are too complex can quickly overwhelm an audience. Now, once your presentation file is built, you'll need to save it to an outside source, and you'll also need to have a system for packaging your presentation. What I've found over the years is the more a student rehearses a presentation, the less it looks like a rehearsed presentation. When your presentation is well rehearsed, you'll become more composed, more professional, and you'll be able to explore new ways to present your ideas with clarity. There are several details that a student presenter must consider in establishing a presentation environment. I first discovered the concept of the stage right presenter's triangle through Tom Mucciolo in the textbook Using PowerPoint 2003, and I've employed his ideas with great success for my students. And finally, if you embrace the ideas and follow the steps in this guidebook, you'll be able to tell a great story and produce a quality presentation. If you would like to receive a copy of this student guide, Creating and Delivering Academic Presentations, please email me at bill@academicpresentations.com. The cost of the textbook is $20 and shipping is $4.95. I usually have a small supply on hand here in New Hampshire, and you should be able to get your copy in about 5 to 7 working days. Thank you.